Hello, I'm back again. Let the blessings flow. Everybody have a blessed day. I hope you're doing what you want to do. I hope you're achieving your goals. Today is Friday, February the 29th, the end of the month, going into March. Man, can you believe it? Well, here I'm in Canada. Today is a cool day. Anyways, today's topic is the barriers and the jobs that I had with my disability. So I'll talk about all the jobs that I had, and I'll talk about some of the barriers or some of the things that I encountered in having a job, and that's everyday life. Okay? So if you're a person with a visual impairment, you can leave your comments in there and let me know. So I'm a person with a disability, a visual impairment. So I had this disease when I was 13 years old. It's called juvenile macular degeneration, other known as Stargardt. So what it does, it affects the my central vision, and it damages the central vision. So this disease is a disease which is inherited from my parents. Okay, so I was a lucky one. I got this. Anyway, so I want to run down a couple of jobs I had. Just starting from college. So I went to college, and the job I had at college, all through college, I was a gym attendant, meaning that I would take. Well, I know it's changed now. I would take the student cards and I will allow them access into the gym, and I would clean the gym and stack the weights up, and when they rent the gym out to other schools who want to play basketball, I will be there to oversee if they needed any first aid or anything, just a general gym attendant. That's what I did when I was in college. So I did it all the way through from once I stepped in the door to the end. All right, so once I graduated, I don't know, once I graduated, I was working in a factory doing screen printing. I was a person, it's like a square or rectangle thing, and you make the prints on t shirts, the logos or whatever. So it's called screen printing. So I would be the person to clean the machines, to not clean the machines, clean the screens and coat them and get them prep them ready for screen printing. And that's what I did. So I would say some of the barriers there was transportation. So obviously I don't drive, or else I'm going to hit somebody or kill them. So transportation was an issue for me because it would take me like a lot longer to get to like a job. Another barrier was reading. So like obviously if I didn't have my special devices to read, I couldn't really read, right? So I need my special magnifying to read. Thank God 2020, there's lots of technology on cell phones today are pretty awesome that I can magnify stuff, take pictures and magnify. So that really helps too today. But back then, I would have to go and use a magnifier at home, or I'll be on the computer and look up stuff. All right, so that's the first job. The second job was pretty similar, just bigger screens, same thing, cleaning screens, doing provincial flags. My barriers there well, same thing reading because they would say, "Hey man, could you go get the bucket of paint 492?" So I have to run through and I'd like have the paints really close, and I'm like looking for the paints and they're waiting to go because you got to do different colors and the paint's drying. So I run, make a lot of mistakes, spill paints and all that stuff. Eventually, until I got a hang of it and figured out my own rhythm. All right, so since once that job was done, I relocated and I went to work for a boys and girls club. So I used to have activities for those kids after school, and then I did on in the summer, so after school programs. Obviously, you know what I'm doing. I'm in the gym. So I was a guy in the gym, and then I'll be the guy in the computer room. So obviously my barrier in the computer room was obviously reading stuff, but I had help from other staff to help me through that. And other barriers I had like in the gym was being able to see like who is that over there kicking the ball, and and also if there was some type of conflict I wasn't close by, I wouldn't see like, oh, this person pushed me down or whatever, right? So those are the kind of barriers I encountered. And lucky enough for that job, I was living close, like in walking distance. So what I noticed as a person with a visual impairment, if I could get a job in walking distance or just a quick bus ride, is more beneficial for me in the long term. Or I'll go on to the next job. So after that job, I went to a factory. This job paid me a lot more because it was automotive, and it was the rise of the economy for cars. They were going back up after they went down, right? So I was lucky to get in, got good benefits and all that stuff. So I was doing assembling Camaro bumpers. So my barriers were like some jobs I couldn't do. Obviously, I couldn't drive a forklift, or else I'll be killing lots of people. And also using the computer, because the computer was really small. I really struggled even with my glasses that they gave me. I really struggled with that. So I was just mainly physically doing the hands-on work, you know what I mean? So if the machine was broke and you have the little screen on the side, I couldn't really I kind of read that. So I did more hands-on jobs. So I did a lot of assembly, a lot of using power tools, screws, rivet guns, unloading, loading parts, tearing down parts. So I did that for about 7 years. Camaro bumpers, and so I did that for a pretty long time because it paid pretty good. And then the company ended up the I would say they laid me off and they closed. So I took my severance. And at that point in time, I was kind of getting tired of it. So I decided to become a personal trainer. So I was studying for that. And when the layoff came, I was certified, and then I became a personal trainer. So the barriers I encountered in a personal training was to see the person. For me, was pretty good. I could see the person, but like to like measure them with a tape measure, or to like weigh them, or to like do their BMI and all that stuff like on the spot was obviously a challenge for me. But it was, I had to like go home and write a plan for them for whatever goal they wanted to achieve, whether it's weight loss, gain some muscle, or whatever their heart desire, because they will pay for it. Okay, so those were some of the barriers for each of the jobs that I had. All right, so with all that being said, I am proud of myself for accomplishing graduating from college, a 2 year college. School is not for me. So I'm more like a physical, more athletic type. Oh yeah, I also did play basketball. A lot of people ask me how could I do that. I was just like, man, you know what? The rim's that way, and everything is repetition. So I played lots of basketball. I played lots of soccer. And I did a lot of weight training. That's how I kind of coped. That's how I coped with my disability. I did a lot of weight training, so that helped me. So whatever struggle I had, the struggle for me obviously is that there's some things I can't do, and one big struggle even to this day is not being able to drive. So hopefully those cars that they're making that are self-driving, I will be able to purchase one of those cars. That's my dream. So I've been watching and following them, and I'm like, wow, would I be able to qualify to get a self-driving car? I know a lot of you guys or girls with visual impairments will be like, wow, that's pretty good, right? I know. I'm like waiting to see like, okay, could we have these cars because they're self-drive? So that's my key. One of my barriers is transportation. So so I still do personal training. So I do my ads or whatever. I tell the people, my clients, I was like, hey, this is what it is. But I'm really good at what I do because I've been doing it since I'm like 16 years old, working out and playing sports. So I know the ins and outs, and I do my own research about stuff like that, about personal training. And it's kind of like part of my life. Like I live a healthy life to the best of my abilities and circumstance, and I exercise to the best of my abilities and my knowledge and know-how. All right. So that's my life in a nutshell. And right now, presently, I sold my house and I relocated to the city, the Peel region. So I'm renting now. So once I sold my house, I learned about investing. So I learned about how to invest, and right now I'm working on taking the steps to own a business. Okay, so I don't want to say what a business is as yet because I'm still like flippy floppy. We're trying to figure out the idea of the type of business that I want to do. So, any visual impairment people out there, comment and let me know what kind of businesses do you do. Okay, so I have the vision. I'm fortunate enough to have the vision where I can live by myself, but but that's that. So like reading stuff, how to use my CCTV. All the visually impaired people, you know what that is. The big thing. You slide the paper under and you read the papers. All right, it magnifies it. CCTV. So when it comes to going to a restaurant, I can't see the menus. So I've been lucky to date females who are understanding and they always read a menu for me. Or if not, I'll just be like have little tricks I use. Like, hey, well, what do you recommend on the menu since you work here? So reading stuff, so traveling and reading, yeah. So reading is really an issue, especially if it's like on the spot. You have to like do it. Like you're traveling, you got to know. Okay, that's gate A or B. Okay, we got to go there. You got to use the computer and type this in, and you got to go now, and you know what I mean. So when it's like on demand, it's pretty challenging. But I persevere through it, or I just ask for help and I tell them my situation if I'm struggling too much and I can't figure it out. So that's one thing. It really forced me to ask for help and tell people about me and what I have to encounter. So when I meet somebody and we friends or whatever, they might think I'm not a cool person because if they're far and they can see me, I can't see them. So that's another barrier too. Let me see. So I wrapped everything up. So I'll just go to all right. So let me see. So I said jobs. These are all the jobs that I do. So I'm more of a physical person. So I'm doing jobs where mainly physical. So like personal training, some type of labor jobs. Not a lot of reading for the jobs that I do. So I'm working on trying to get jobs where I can read and use my devices because I'm getting a lot older and my physicalities is not as it used to be as when I was younger. So for the long term, I'll need to be able to do some kind of physical slash a little bit of reading using my devices. So that's my goal. And so I want to talk about investing as a person with a disability. So I live in Canada and I want to give it. So a lot of people may know this who has disabilities, but uh, but you have to, well, hopefully you've done it. So I go to the ODSP, and with that being part of that, I'm able to open up a registered disability savings plan, RDSP, for the future, which is a really good thing. And you should also contribute to it. And I suggest all people with visual impairments, if you have the ability to do it for yourself and figure it out for yourself, do so, because there's lots of information on the internet and you don't really need someone to do it. I find these people who try to help us with this RDSP, they're taking some money from you. So I did it all on my own. They don't learn all the information, ask all the questions. So the RDSP is really good for the future. All right. And also, as a person with disability, you're gonna get tax credits, which is good because normally the statistics of a person with disability making a good income is slim to none. It's like about 20,000 a year, and the ones who do make more, that's like far and few, like maybe one out of a thousand. Okay, so so besides that, I'm gonna go to my own investment, whether I use the house. So what I did as a person with a disability, I suggest you do investments as like your money that you make, you want to invest it. So you want to have your money to work for you, and you don't know how long you're gonna be in that job or the economy or whatever. So I think it's good to like invest. So either you try, or either you get a house. I think that's pretty easy investment, and I consider that a business because it's you're in the business of owning a home, which is a lot of things. So owning a home, what I encountered as a person with visual impairment, I had a car park, I had a car driver. It's like, hey, how come you don't drive? Anyways, so with me, I was living independently And so the barriers I encounter, obviously, one is transportation. Anything got broke, I gotta fix it. Or you know what I mean? Like for example, like a dish, I had a dishwasher, and I had to read the thing to like to see what model it was. That's another challenge. So I had to. So doing my roof, it was pretty physical, but I was able to do it